Wow. You know, over there, time is more costly than here.
More time? Well, oh, you mean data?
What?
You said time is more costly?
Yeah, in the US, right? Than here.
Well, I don't know. I know one of our leaders, his wife passed away. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know. So they have an excuse not to be here now. Unfortunately, well, I don't know.
I think maybe we just although maybe if others are joining, then we can have at least get to know each other, because this is my first time coming in contact with you. This is the first time we are speaking.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that introduction could have been important. I even spoke with Chukwuemeka like just around a few minutes back, so I don't know why he's not yet here. Though I didn't talk about us or like this
No,
call. We just had that conversation.
he's occupied a lot. But one time I had introduced him to somebody from the Caribbean, and I don't think it worked out. The person was more into agriculture in Ghana and Kenya. But I was telling the people, the USA has been flagging the Caribbean for, drugs and not safe. And I said the USA is going to do something in the Caribbean. And today, well, the person was from St. Kitts and Nevis, and his government ended up signing a deal with Tinubu. And now today, the U.S. government is basically trying to invade that area in the Caribbean. So the governments were coming to Nigeria anyways, but the people that I introduced them, they didn't take it seriously, and it was a waste of time, honestly. So that's probably why he's focused on other things. But it's things are happening in the USA and the Caribbean, and we just need a strong base back home. But even I saw recently, this is more like an update call. I saw recently uh, the African Diaspora Development Institute with, I know you remember Dr. Ericana from Zimbabwe.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, Dr. Ericana from Zimbabwe, the African Union ambassador to the USA from a few years ago. Um, she's from Zimbabwe, but she's organizing something with Burkina Faso. And Dr. Orobueze and Dr. Ngozi, she's participating. So we have Eboland, Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso. What just happened in Madagascar. We have all these different governments and countries coming together. There's not really a strong Pan Africanism organization, so it's like we're building the discussion of what's going on back home from scratch. I know you know about Pan Africanism, but there's no organization that says we back Pan Africanism. This is what we stand for. A lot of it's just been taken over and corrupted. So we're building from scratch. But Igbo land is, Central Africa, West Africa. It's central to what we're doing. So this call was just me trying to update people on what's going on. Uh, that I wasn't expecting. Unfortunately, uh, the wife passed, but that brother he lives in Niger State, and they have his particular tribe and kingdom has states in Benin and Burkina Faso. So that's Prince Yakubu, but he's been the one that's really carrying things. We've had basketball tournaments. We were talking about another one, so I don't. The fact his wife passed away is crazy timing. I don't know. It's just sad anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, I like is quite unfortunate that the wife passed away, but like this is like a diplomatic stuff. Um
Hmm.
we have got to keep going so that whenever he feels like reconnecting, there will still be that avenue for him to reconnect. This is the first time we are talking,
Yeah.
and I wish others are like here, because you said we are starting from let's say we are starting from ground zero
Mhm.
and we are heading somewhere.
Mhm. Well,
It's good
um,
for us to like have a picture of where we are going.
well,
Hello?
myself personally, I'm from Mbaise, and you know how people are with it's more like wait and see. They like to see something happen before they jump on board.
Yeah,
So even my uncle, he said, he doesn't understand everything, but he said, if he started saying maybe that he wants to go into business with me, but if he thinks people are coming home to Burkina Faso and Igbo land, it's more like that. People are going to say, okay, let's try and go into business together. So in the end, it's more on my side to start to show that people are ready to come home and do business uh, and reconnect. So it's more of it's on me. And then if I do that, there's going to be more people with connections to Igbo
yeah,
land but I would like people like you on ground to receive them and to be working together. I know Prince will. Uh, I'm sorry, Chukwuemeka, Chief Chukwuemeka. Those kind of people, if
yeah,
we're on ground, well, working together to receive them, that'd be a good thing, rather than just to rely on one organization that's here in the USA, or just to rely on one Igbo organization or Biafra group to receive people. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it should be more a coalition and drawn across all communities. I have MBSA connections. I have reached out to Henry connections to Bin Masab, uh, Chief Endukaku. He's connected to Emo, and it's connected everywhere, but Aguilera, of course. And to be honest, some of our, to be really honest, some of our mobilization issues is compromise, I think, because we have a lot of chiefs in position in Igbo land that are, uh, how you say, from foreign extraction, and they're not African, they're not black. So they have their own political agenda and historical background, um, where they're not really discussing Igbo land as a self-governing entity. Because Igbo, like I said, I've been saying, Igbo land can administrate Africa. These countries, a lot of them are 30 million people or smaller. We have people doing business all over Africa that can administrate something like an Igbo province. I don't even if you don't talk about Biafra, I'm just talking about Igbo land population alone. We have so many everywhere that can administrate, act as liaisons, gather information, just like a government. So Igbo province is a great idea, but we have people, uh, even not even African, being given titles in Igbo land, and they've been holding the project, these kind of discussions back. So I know there's other forums. Basically, I know this first time we're talking, but there's other forums. This is just I opened it for to say Igbo land is region 6 to 7 out of 10. So it's to say Igbo land is maybe 20% of our program, but there's maybe larger because I have USA, like 3 different forums. If I make a call, they'll pick up. Um, and then we've had Haiti come back to Enugu State, which is Haiti is the largest Black Caribbean country. And essentially, what happened, I don't know if you remember when the Haitians came back.
who?
The Haitians, there was Haitian
Yeah, yeah,
delegation.
yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember then.
They're part of the same Aguilera cabinet, kind of. Um, so, like, I have one of the contacts who I met through Igbo World Assembly. Greetings, Odogu. Greetings
Hey,
to
good
you.
evening. Good evening, brother.
Greetings. We were just talking about, unfortunately, one of our leaders passed. He's in Niger State with connections to Benin and Burkina Faso. They have states, and the brother, but his wife passed, so he's not here. But he's in
Okay,
Nigeria, but he's one of the international kingdoms. Matter of fact, Tinubu gets his title Jagaban Borgu from Burkina Faso, Benin, and Niger State Kingdom. So his wife
okay,
passed, unfortunately, so but he's there. And we're just talking about next steps. I was talking about the Caribbean, Haiti.
all right,
Haiti is actually in Aguilera's cabinet. Technically, I could pass that contact, Ambassador John Pillard. But he was part of the delegation. He lives in Boston, USA, where I think World Igbo Congress launched a bank. He lives over there. But one thing that happened when he came, the ambassador from Haiti came. Upon one of the delegates, Moise John Charles, the senator, he came back to USA, Miami, and the U.S. government arrested him and took his visa. Said he can't come back. Said he's banned for life.
wow,
So one of the delegates lives in USA, but that's the kind of thing that we see. Because, like I said, Igbo land or Igbo province can govern. We could have delegates all over the Caribbean and Africa. We have a large numbers. We do business everywhere. So Igbo province is a good idea, but that's the kind of thing that happens. People get arrested mysteriously, and the Washington D.C. even they don't say it, but it's built by Igbo people. It's an autonomous. Washington D.C. is an autonomous city within Maryland and Virginia area, which everybody
okay,
Maryland, Virginia is famous for Igbo slavery. So they don't say it, but D.C. the same people. It's surrounded by the Igbo people, and so they must be Igbo too. So even you don't even have to talk about Biafra, but Igbo land enough is enough to get people in trouble in politics globally. They said the guy, Moise John Charles, was involved in drug trafficking and this and that, but there was multiple people on that trip to Enugu that signed documents basically saying Haiti should develop the Igbo villages together with Haiti and Igbo are one basically, and he was the only one arrested. So I don't think they had a legal case. I think they were trying to intimidate. Uh, I didn't see any evidence. There was no evidence presented. They just took his passport, which is gangster tactics, and they deported him and said that he was a drug trafficker. No trial, anything. They took his visa and deported him. So, and he hasn't been tried in Haiti or anything. So that's the type of stuff that happened about almost 4 years ago. I think 2022 January he was traveling and he got arrested. So and now you see the brothers. We were talking like I was telling Alex that I tried to get grassroots person over to St. Kitts and Nevis to work with you. They didn't take it seriously, and then the government actually signed a deal with Tinubu. And now a few months later, we see that the U.S. government is flooding that area with the Southeast Caribbean with missiles and warships, and some of their leaders are traveling Nigeria trying to get support. So it just shows you some people are not even living the same reality over here in the West. The U.S. is invading them, and they're saying they don't need to work with. They just need to focus on farming and stuff. They don't understand what's going on around them. So, but most of the Caribbean is basically now attached to Nigeria or Igbo land, which is important politically. So if we just focus on Igbo land, a lot
okay.
of people are just going to have to come and deal with us
Uh,
anyway.
okay, brother. I think you've been doing great. We've known for a very long time now, and you've really been representing us very well, trying to have the Igbo nation's voice and also the Unified Igbos now voice and the connection. A lot of
Well,
people
I
you are
I haven't.
giving.
Let me interject because I really haven't. If you think about it, I really haven't presented anything tangible. I tried with one person, but he wasn't serious. and now the politicians are serious enough that they're basically
Uh,
having
uh, uh,
war now.
yeah,
But
what I want to say is that the ones that you have done, like the contacts that you gave to me, especially the king, you gave me his contact that I called him because now that our event is coming up, the Nzuko Mekodima
Mhm.
Alibu, now food on Organihu,
Mhm.
that event
Important.
is really important to us. We intend to make good use of that event
Mhm.
right now because the time is now. Um, the time is now. So we we would want to have you now play a very vital part. Let's have this event and bring every person together because that king will be going to meet him. We will
That
be going to
as
meet
they have
him.
of Eche extraction rivers.
Yes, yes, yes. But you need to after this call, please resend me his number because what I studied with I can't find it.
As they have
I have
Eche.
spoken with him. Yes, I've even written him. We have communicated. He's waiting for me. So all I need to do is to re-establish the contact.
Okay, I'll send it, and I'm recording this just for content. But if you see the title of the group, it says number 6 through 7, Usoro Mbaise. So basically, if I have 10 regions, Igbo land is 20%, 2 out of 10 of that global administration of African people. So that's why I wanted to speak with Alex. When I'm
Okay.
seeing the numbers, we can administrate most of the black race through Igbo land. It's not even Biafra that's a threat. You know, even Haitians come through Igbo land, they get deported mysteriously in USA, and
Okay.
it's a lot of
Okay.
stuff.
See,
But I'll,
this is
yeah,
it. This is what I want. I'm not even in Nigeria right now.
okay,
So what I want us to do to make out this time around is to uh, re, uh, let's reestablish that contact. Send it back to me. Let me call him so that we can go because we want him to be at the event in person.
okay,
In fact, he has a very huge role to play. But we'll be going
in
to his
River.
palace.
Okay, I'll send it right
We will
now.
be going to his palace.
I didn't, I
Yes,
didn't,
send
I
it to
didn't.
me
Okay,
presently.
I didn't have
Yeah.
much to say. I could end the call, but I know if the U.S., the Caribbean is headed home,
Now
so
another thing. No,
huh.
another thing is in case you don't know,
Uh oh.
Alex here
Mm-hmm.
is our
Premier. Uh oh.
hello.
We can hear you
Mr.
now.
Alex here. Yes, Mr. Alex here is our secretary at home,
Okay.
and he
Okay.
has been playing a very vital role uh, on the movement.
Okay.
So another thing we will be wanting from you is how to assess and get funds because what we are doing at home here requires funds.
Mm-hmm.
We require funds at this time. I've not told you this before, but this is the right one because this event, Nsukomaka Odimma Ala Igbo,
Mm-hmm.
or Food Donor Organihu, we intend to bring every, notable traditional institution. We're already working with them, so but we need to go around, travel around, bring them, and also not just the politicians. We will be doing less of the politicians, but due to the new state agitation that is being proposed in the Senate here but there in Nigeria, we intend to play our part.
Is that
What we need is
Adada
a
or
sixth. What
Anyoma?
we need, yes, what we need is the sixth southeastern states. So if it is Anioma for southeast, we support it. But if it is Anioma for south south, we will need to, yes, we agitate. Let them have Anioma for south south. That is making it the seventh south states, and also let's move a motion that will give us the other state from the Enugu extraction. That is
Mhm.
bringing all the Igbo people in Kogi.
Oh wow.
Having to move for a boundary adjustment to have the Igbo people in Kogi and some part of
And,
Benue.
and
Yes,
Suka.
it is possible to be added to that state. It is a strategic move. So, but then this event will usher in that fully and also explain it to our people. So, the most
Okay.
important thing is we need funds. We need
Okay.
funds. Anyhow, we can get
Wow.
funds to be able to get by. It is very, very important
And
because
you also have to mention
everybody,
and
everybody
Suka.
must, everybody must contribute his or her widow's mite. It does not matter the little. It does not matter the amount, but we need funds. Thank you.
Okay. 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 Funds. I know Adada is and Suka as well. And UNN. Um, as far as funds, my plan for funds was mostly based in the USA now. I mentioned it to Alex that we've been focused on the stock market, and now there's a group here out here. They're showing what called signals, how to make the money without necessarily teaching you the mechanics of how it works. But they're doing group stock trading where they show you how to make money copying the plays. Now that might not be in time for the Nzuko, but it's more of a long term strategy to develop the communities to build that bridge. Um, so that would be my calls in the USA. I have 3 USA groups where I'd be setting that up, uh, where basically we make funds. But at this point, I don't think I have a base where they would just send funds. Even I've they're actually I don't know if it might surprise anybody, but the best fundraisers I've seen. No, to be honest, the best fundraiser I've actually seen was Dr. Ngozi. That's the Biafra agitation. But I don't ask them for funds. I'm my objective was to set up classes where people can generate their own funds by investing consistently over time, daily. And to be honest, that's my one trick that I can contribute stock market investing. But I haven't successfully. I have never really asked anybody for funds or seen it be successful. To be honest, so I don't know what the response to that would be, but I'm pretty confident that we can set up stock market and investing, just like people set up skills shop for like makeup and things. But I think this is going to be more lucrative, and the people over here need it. Black people here need it. They need the connection to Igbo land, and I think that would lead to investing and travel. No, even I don't have a passport yet, but people have to get ready for these things. And I know with what's going on in the USA and the Caribbean, I think the next call with Jacksonville, Washington, D.C., which I mentioned is Igbo land, Washington, D.C. We know is the headquarters of the Western powers. That's Igbo people built that and live there still. So these 3 cities or a few cities in the West, um, that was this call was leading up to that. But then we had our brother, his wife passed. So I don't know what's going on with that. And now we have Alex is important. Your voice is important. But then my next calls were honestly going to be more people setting up stock market and beginning to build that connection home. So no, I rest my mic, but that was my position going forward.
Okay, it is understandable. It is understandable. But while we go, where we move, we hope that things will clear and we have a way of really getting what we want. Like that is still fun because nothing, no movement survives without fun. So, but then it is understandable the way you explained.
I can
Due
put
to
it
network,
forward.
because I don't have the SIM card of this place. I want to move now, and once I move out, I don't have network. So I will say you keep this meeting keeps on. I think Mr. Alex has a lot to say and also to educate you about what we intend to achieve. All right, Mr. Alex, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
All right. Please, I'll be going off now from the meeting because I'm moving out.
Okay.
I don't have
Okay.
SIM here. I don't have my own SIM card, and I'm not accessible to network
Okay.
on
I
my
understand.
own. So I depend on Wi-Fi. I can't even make international calls or
Okay.
else WhatsApp. But I'm moving out now. So
I'll
while
send the
I'm out,
contact.
I will not have network. Yeah. Oh yeah. Send it right
I'll send the
here
contact after. Cause
privately.
I'll send it
Yeah, we'll
after
send
this
it to my
call
DM.
ends. I'll
Okay. Thank you.
send it
Thank
after
you.
it
I'll be
ends.
waiting.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you. I leave
All right.
now. All right, Mr. Alex, please do the info. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. All right, brother. I don't know. It's the good news. I think what we have to do is simple. As far as uh, I'm committing to build long term financing in Igbo land, and at the same time, I have a numbering system where Igbo land is 20% of global African administration. You see what's going on in the Sahel. Uh, the Sahel is also called Balad al Sudan or the Black Kingdoms in Arabic. And above the northern king, Nigeria means black. Niger means black. Sudan means black. Mali was called French Sudan, which means black. You know, Northern Africa is not black, so they named these countries black because there's a difference, and we're seeing the difference manifest in jihad and ethnic cleansing. And Sudan just sued the Arab Emirates. Uh, if Emir and Emirate, Emir means a military commander in Arabic. Uh, I think Nigeria and uh, Dubai and some of these. I think Nigeria is the only black country with emirs, which is a military title. And we see what's going on in Nigeria and the Sahel in general, Sudan, suing the Arabs, Emirates. So it's a lot of killing going on behind this that people aren't addressing. Um, but Igbo land is a part of the central administration of everybody coming together of the African descent. So we have to commit funds. Nothing moves without funds. He's right. I can
yeah,
ask, but my thing, I'm more. We've been talking for years about long-term financing of projects, and the stock market is going to be central to that. And I know we talked about it, texted about it, but that's the commitment I can make. The stock market, and that's going to take a conversation with people over here, and me writing down things, and everybody beginning to travel. Even myself, I don't have a passport, so if I wanted, even if somebody helped me travel, I couldn't. I don't have a passport, so it's about we're committing long term to Igbo land development, and those will be the next calls going forward. Yeah.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the stock market and investment, they are really good direction, because when you have to talk about, I think it's people that will finance a government like we are planning on running. You don't just run a government by maybe taking funding like this manner of fund. But if we have people that are developed, like they have developed skills like stock market and a lot more, I believe when they begin to make profit, even though we are not going to use taxation because we are not a kind of real government, it's a real government, but like I think the Igbo nation is even alien to taxation, because I could remember I read once about the about women riots that happened because they thought that the women would be taxed. So our culture is almost, yeah, our culture is almost anti taxation. So but you have to develop the human resources. When you develop the human resources will begin to give back to the system. That is when long term approach comes in. So I'm really like open to
Mhm.
the stock markets. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
because we have so many people that are billionaires, and we have things in our culture that's like rotating wealth, where you could have a loan, you could rotate it. Everybody contributes to a pot, and maybe one day the pot is $1,000 for somebody. Now imagine if it's invested daily, and people are rotating the investment. Maybe somebody gets 10,000 one day, and they invest it, and they put it back into a pot, and it just grows because they know the investing skill. So if we have a pot and everybody's investing, within let's say a Nugu Ezike community, Then that's they contribute to the pot or the treasury if they're getting a loan from the treasury, or the pot. So if people take a loan and they invest it, that'll make the central pot bigger, the central treasury. I think treasury, or town hall, or community development fund is more native at this point. So all running if communities are all running some financial scheme or financial plan, all the communities can start to naturally get together and say, this is what we have. This is how big our treasury is from our investing in Awari and in ABBA and in Idiato. People could just start to say that we're investing this much. This is our progress, and have a meeting. And the good thing is we've been doing the numbers, and we said Igbo land is central, so we'll have other people doing the same things we're doing, and we'll just meet naturally, time to time, and track our progress. But the stock market leads to other discussions like you know Bitcoin and real estate. Of course, security is always military security is always the discussion. But this is just like putting your foot in the water, or you're starting to swim. But we start with the stock market, and it opens conversations. People get finances, maybe rotating a loan or something like that, micro loan. So it's different things like that. But that the stock market discussion, if it's successful and we want it to be successful, will open up, where people will volunteer if there's a festival or a meeting of some sort of political festival. People can contribute because we'll be able to. They'll report their own earnings as a community. So that's the idea. Um, Especially if it
The
catches
thing
on over here, we have Igbo associations in diaspora down to the village that they'll want to, once they see somebody's getting money, they want to bring it home, and it catches on if it's successful. That's how it goes. So if we start and we're successful, we'll have people coming investing. So I'll rest my mic.
Okay, the thing is, like, we now, I don't know how long you've been able to interact with the Igbos in this part of the world, because, like, generally the people here are highly independent minded. They're like, everyone wants to be on their own. I think the most all encompassing, I think the best way to describe it should be Republican. Most Igbos here, they just want to be self-sufficient. So whenever it comes to, like, community, the system of government, I'm not sure, because the angle that you are coming from is more like, should I say, I don't know if communism should be the appropriate term to use, like having a community treasury. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I'm not
mean,
sure if
I know that might be the issue because a lot of my ideas were based on it doesn't exist anymore, but reading about like I sent an article about self determination of the Igbo people by Ezekiel. The organization was called Igbo State Union and the
yeah, Igbo
Igbo
State
Federal
Union.
Union, the State Union
It's,
and
it's,
Federal
it's
Union.
more like the
It's
Igbo
more like
State
a town.
Union is,
Yeah, that was it. Well, from what I've seen, it was a town hall system. I wouldn't call it communism, but we still have town halls that people say are not really functional, or town unions, things like that. People are saying are not functional, but I wouldn't call it communism. I'd say it was more town union or OHA meeting. But a lot of people say those are not functional at this point. But it's if people have a meeting and they say that they're going to get resources from the meeting. That's more like it. What the idea was: meet and develop resources, and then
yeah,
distribute it.
yeah, like in the local level, yeah, they still have some stuff like like that. But that's like why they might have it. It is chiefly informal.
Mhm.
It is informal. So let's say in my community they have this homeowner. So the whatever that is going to be like their treasury is with the eldest man. Is not something. Even though people have become civilized, they tend to still keep it chiefly informal. So, and once we begin to talk about like the recent stuff, stock market, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, like other sort of cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, they yeah, I don't know if I cannot say that the tradition of the Igbo man is not really this independent mindset that we have today, because we still used to have the Umuna system whereby the community owns land. Yeah, but like something has been triggered, the people have changed a lot. It's no more the old time. Everybody wants to own their own plot and so on. So community ownership of community ownership of properties, that era has passed. So now our people has become independent minded, which is affecting us because like we are individually rich, but when we are looked at as a community, we are not really where we want to be. So like this is going to be like a new way of thinking,
Mhm.
a new way of like it's going to feel like this is off because
Yeah.
people want to sell in their shop. They want to be able to like know, okay, this is my shop. I go out in the morning. Like our people doesn't buy stock in the stock
Yeah.
market because every Igbo man wants to stay at the informal sector. You
Mm.
don't see an Igbo man. It's only few Igbos that you see invest like buying a share in a
Uh,
company. They will prefer to, instead of using 1 million to buy a share, they will prefer to use it to start a trading, like a small business. They want to stay in control. I don't know. It's just become like the way the people has been shaped over time. So while traditionally we had some communism at some point, right now it's about individualism. So
just like well, we're building an Igbo province. Some things have to work. If it works, whatever we call it, it has to work. But even I've heard of Michael Akpara. I've heard of Michael Akpara. He was doing things like building roads, and people were contributing.
yeah,
you know,
you know,
it,
no,
yeah.
then it was the old eastern region and where people we had resources. The difference is that Igbo province, like we don't have resources and we are not going to ask the government
Hmm.
because that would be like starting trouble.
Oh.
Yeah. I know that we don't have, yeah. I know that we don't have, the only way they are going, because I listened when you were having concerns about even states like the US being very watchful of what we are doing, even though we are not talking about Biafra. You get it? But we are exploring some things. The only way they can, the only way we start seeing trouble is when we begin to ask for the resources, which is actually ours. But let's say they are holding this in trust for us. So once we
Oh.
begin to ask for those resources, there's going to be issues. But when we want to finance this system by ourselves, because what I'm saying is because you made mention of MI Obara, and then it was the time of the old eastern region and we had the palm oil. Even when there was no crude oil, we had the palm oil and it was very lucrative, and we had other resources, and then they were paying tax because they still operated on the British platform. But now we cannot ask for tax, but we can ask for free will donation, which is what we just did now. And
Hmm.
we know that some people has been funding us. Yeah, but you need a project like the Igbo nation, and if you tell them about stock exchange, like something that looks like a personal business, they will think like, oh, you people have started enriching yourself. There is this way they look, because what we are doing, we are almost like public servants. That's the way they look at public servant. Like you must be humble, you must be simple. Like they want you to be like a monk.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how they think. Once you begin to like propose something that is going to be gainful, they are going to look at it like, oh, this one I've started opening an embezzlement channel. So that's like the most concerning part. Like this event that we are going to host, you will see that they will make donations to it. But if we tell them donate to a particular business, like let's say real estate, no, they won't, because they believe that everybody should be able to, like, they believe that they are not funding their own business from the public purse. So
Mhm.
why should they finance another enterprise that they don't understand, you know,
Mhm.
how it will impact them?
I've,
So these
oh,
are like the real concern. But personally, I know that since we won't have access to our natural resources for now, because that's where trouble will start. The gas, the US and Europe, they are very interested in it. They want to ship it to Europe as alternative to Russian gas. The crude oil, you already know the federal government is interested in
through
it. So once we
Algeria pipeline.
yes, so once we know, we're just trying to be stupid. Like we like someone
Um,
like me, sometimes you choose
yeah.
to talk like you don't know that.
Uh,
Yeah, because yeah, once you begin to show that you know a lot, they will tell you that yeah, that a lot is going to put you in trouble. So that's why we discussed the stock market, but it's
uh,
going to take a bit of time,
and one of
like
our
not right away.
yeah, one of our things. Well, let me even I could break it down quickly as far as 10 regions. Igbo land having 20% or 20% of 10 regions. The first region would be the Niger River. No, no, I'm sorry. The first region would be Eurasia, Europe and Asia, with the headquarters in southern India. There's 200 million dark skinned people there. So it's the first region, Eurasia. The second region is Australia, Melanesia, the Pacific Islands. And with the headquarters in Madagascar, we just saw what happened. There's 31 million Malagasy tribe people. They have their own kingdom. Now it's a republic, but you saw what just happened in Madagascar. They extend all the way to Pacific Island and USA territories. That's one ethnic group. Then the third one would be the Bantu, which migrated from Cameroon and the eastern region uh, of Nigeria. So the Bantu, we have a headquarters in Uganda area, Rwanda, Congo. We know the conflict going on there. So that'd be our third headquarters. The fourth one would be that we're doing business with number 4 and 5 are actually Nigeria. They're two Sahel. The Nile River is Kenem Bornu, of course. We know what's going on in Kanori lands in Niger and Borno and all that. The fourth headquarter, the Nile headquarters, would be inside Nigeria, Maduguri. Then the fifth one, Nubusa. They're in northwest Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and Benin, but they have some territories in Ghana. But that was the person. His wife just passed away in a Nigerian hospital. Prince Yakubu is a secretary for the Niger River. And then 6 and 7 would be Old Imo, the south, Old Omambala, the north, Igbo land. We said north and south. So um, the last four we just said are all in Nigerian borders. So then the rest would be Igbo descendants, some Caribbean headquarters, some USA headquarters. So it'll be 4 headquarters in Nigeria, modern space, and then uh, 3 others: Madagascar, South India, and what was the other one? Uh, Uganda, DRC, Rwanda headquarters. But and that was just Igbo land doing business with the diaspora descendants coming home. So Igbo land, maybe I think is actually 50% of what we're doing. Because if you count the diaspora, the West as Igbo land, I think there's 7 headquarters total. And then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's 50%. Igbo land is very maybe half or more than half of what we need to do as African people. It's we talk about the diaspora coming home and being in their characteristic individualism, some sorts of republicanism, some sort of town hall, some informal meetings. That's just how they do it over here in the West. It's just uh, a little bit more. disorganized and a lot more interference. But that's why it's hard to get together. But we've had progress in the calls going forward. There'll be more USA involved. And matter of fact, I want to make sure I said number one is Eurasia, number two is uh, uh, Melanesia, Australia, Australo-Melanesia. Let me do it. South India, number one. Madagascar, number two. Three, it would be a Busoga in Uganda, Troyes Empire. Number four, Bornu. Number five, Borgu. So that's five. And then Igbo land would be six and seven. Number eight, Jacksonville, Florida. Number nine, Washington, D.C. Number 10, Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, that's 50% Igbo land. And then Haiti, which is Haitians are most of the Caribbean population. Through Cuba, you know, Cuba is controversial for communism, but a lot of that is based on the Igbo heritage and the African heritage in there. And the Haitians are related to Cubans. So it'd be Haiti, Grenada, U.S. Virgin Islands, which has a congressional seat in the U.S. government, and the last headquarters, well, the Caribbean headquarters, Haiti, U.S. Virgin Islands, Grenada, and what was the last one? Jamaica. Well, we're using some of the Jamaica symbols. Marcus Garvey's UNIA. We've modified it to Uganda, Nigeria, Imperial, basically indigenous administration, and we put the Igbo land as the center instead of the Fulani Emir system. Well, we did this a long time ago before that was even announced because we said we needed the indigenous communities together and Igbo land would be more fair than others. So I think that's 7 out of 12. 7 out of 12 are connected to Igbo land as far as meeting. And so we haven't had a lot of. I think you might be more consistent going forward than others have been. But 7 out of 12, that's like 80%. Or so. I don't know. It's a high number of what Igbo land can do. But things are moving forward. It's one thing to talk, it's another thing to move into action. I think it's been 7 years. We're seeing action in Africa, northern Nigeria, Burkina Faso axis. Niger has been talking about northern Nigeria and Hausa and Sahel security. Even if I'm now the Sudan, I'm a Sudan representative as far as the activism, the rape going on in Darfur. I'm one of the representatives of the Darfur Women's Action Group, and they say on their website that they tracking the terrorism all the way to Mali, so Mali to Sudan. So the fact that Nigerian government doesn't address it and say that it's a regional problem, that lets you know that they're not interested in security in Nigeria. They're interested in bullshit. So it is what it is. But I'm now representative for Sudan, and they said on the website they've tracked terrorism all the way to West Africa, and people are the rape going on, saying that they want to make sure the blacks have Arab babies. They say it's all the way. They didn't mention Nigeria on the website, but we all know these countries are neighbors. The borders are porous. So I'm going to move with urgency. Whether you're available all the time, I'm going to just blitz through calls and see what I could do. You know, but I want to thank you for picking up because it was 2 calls in a row that I missed, and I had people waiting. Um, I don't want to give an excuse, but it's sad that what happened. What we heard yesterday was sad, but we just gotta keep moving forward and try. If it was me, I know I wouldn't be saying. I know I wouldn't be saying the same thing. I'd be devastated. But I'm going to keep moving the cause forward, and I'll let our brother take his time. But one of our the key emphasis not only finance, but seeing I'll be pressing who can travel home, setting up structures of ID systems and things like that. All the things the government needs, or that we've done different things in the past as individual communities, like a security ID system or a club membership use. I've seen the Mbaise use having the ID systems. Uh, these things that we have, small ideas, we'll just keep moving forward. I don't like to talk about. I like to see things moving. But I think the more,
Um, um,
yeah, we'll see if it moves forward. I'll just keep making calls. After building up for 7 years, I think these calls are going to be more fruitful, and finance is going to be coming involved. So uh,
you
we'll
said
see.
something about. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you said something about like sort of like membership card. Is it like a website or
Uh,
or like just
and the one that I saw in NBC, I'm not. I don't think they had a website. I think they were just taking advantage of the whole idea of an autonomous community that isn't even used. Autonomous is Greek for self managing, self governing. So even at the local level, we're supposed to be having, I don't know how long, maybe decades, this autonomous community label. It means we should have been seeking partners. We should be in Abuja saying down to the village saying, "Hey, can you come develop my village? Can you do this? Can you do that?" But all I hear, I've read about stipends, and I said I don't think autonomous communities are being used to develop autonomous community. Develop. I think it's just a paper label, and people are just getting stipends. But the ID system is something that a self-governing community is supposed to have. So I know we have a 6,000, or we have a thousand of autonomous communities, but they don't really live up to their name as far as behavior or agenda. So ID system is just one of the things a community should have. So we'll figure it out.
yeah,
But
because I'm really thinking about I want to get things started.
mhm,
I
mhm.
believe that when we show workings, resources would come. But if you just keep like saying tomorrow, or you might
Yeah,
just be realizing you are
yeah,
wasting time.
yeah. Everybody,
Because
we see like most of the headquarters in Africa. Four of them are in Nigeria. Then Madagascar is another one that just they motivated themselves. The Malagasy tribe. Madagascar, a lot of people don't know, it used to be a kingdom. So and then it's one ethnic group. So they just had a revolution in Southern Africa. Where we know Zimbabwe is there. We know what happened with Mandela in South Africa and how the whites eventually took over. The white ethnic groups and tribes took over the government. So now we see Madagascar and Zimbabwe. We see Venezuela at war with the USA. So we have revolutions going down in Southern Africa that we don't really have to worry about. They're going to take self determination and resources into their own hands. We focus on Igbo land, and we see the Caribbean people are coming home. If we just develop ourselves, simple programs, simple calls, the rest of Africa is already waking up. We just have to focus on ourselves to a certain degree. Not saying be selfish, but we'll have contacts all over Africa that in the right places. Some of them are even in Nigeria, so people travel, and yet we have to get people started talking about traveling. But if we just focus on the Igbo land, we've already seen the Caribbean governments coming to Africa and coming to Nigeria. They're looking for us, so we just keep having these calls. Things will develop. Uh, but as you see, I can RSVP or call something ahead of time, and some our people in Igbo land won't show up consistently. Principal here, I have Bim Masab from Nsuka and Newi here. So they're the ones that say that they're supposed to be representing self determination and development. Sometimes they don't pick up. This is year 7 for me. So with your help, things will go faster. I think. Uh, I think things will go faster. At the same time, I have to make calls to the Igbo people in diaspora. I think it'll be a domino effect where people start. I have another person from Enugu Ezike that I was talking to, so I think it'll start to become a movement where people want to see action. They want to put things in place and start getting things going. But I won't. I'll be conservative with the calls. Most of them now are going to be me texting people in the USA and saying, I'm gonna share this video and say we had this motion, we have this movement. I have to talk to them. These are next step, and this is somebody on ground we could talk to. There's Igbo associations we could talk to face in the Western Hemisphere, and just keep moving forward. But this is like the majority of our activity is going to be based in Igbo land, as far as I can see at this point. Um, as a global association of communities and families, Igbo land is going to be the center of our activity. So that's the end of the call. Unless you have something to say, it's been an hour, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation. I think we have said almost all the things we had to say.
All right, all right. I thank you. We see what's going on in Africa. It's Igbo land's time. If we have, it's our time. I think we just have to keep hammering away. Not everything gonna be perfect, but we see Igbo land needs to be put on the map. So we're gonna keep
Yeah.
hammering away. God give us breath. We're gonna keep going. So
I just think that once we are able to overlook some things, just once we are able to pretend to be stupid at some things, the West and the Nigeria government is going to let us operate because out of the
well,
two evil, we are the lesser evil.
well, I don't think. Actually, I disagree on playing stupid because everything that we're seeing is tied to Igbo land. It's our people that actually are ignorant. We have to
No,
educate them on what's going on.
what I mean is, as far as we don't go into armed race, as far as we don't ask for the resources like the oil and gas, as far as we only want to develop our human resources, which is why I'm very interested, if not because the stock market, from the look of
Hmm.
things, is going to require some level of investment which we don't have now. I could have loved it, and then other services like technology and industry. Taiwan is what it is today because of their microchip,
Hmm.
their chip production.
Uh huh.
So I believe if we can have at least one industrial sector that we can develop, the
Yeah.
world would not really. Yeah,
I
I can hear you.
well, I'm going. I'm actually. I have to be straightforward because I actually what I've done for the years. Even Amotekun was supposed to be a. It's come from the new Black Panther Party, the Black Panthers of America. They've been copied all over the world. Amotekun was this discussion that we had with Yoruba land uh, and African Americans in a group. We were all trying to be on one page, saying, "Hey, the African Americans have a community-based security that they develop. Can we develop security?" Some of the Yoruba
Yeah.
leaders went and developed a state security that's controlled by the state that doesn't reach the grassroots. Like even security, they didn't want us to develop it
No,
for
I
ourselves.
think we will be
Like
able to
I don't
develop the security.
I don't. Well, let me put it like this. I don't think there's any way Igbo land can sneak under the radar because we're the central administration of Africa. Even the Bantu people we talked about it, 400 million people are connected to the Igbo culture. Where if we organize ourselves, there's 350 million people that maybe can want to do business with us. So these people that we say are running things, they're very smart. They know all this. So it's no way to avoid them. Like they see Eboland doing anything, they'll send the United Nations to us and say discourage us and brainwash us and say don't do this, don't do that. So it's nothing that will develop in Eboland that will sneak. under the radar if we're successful at anything. Because there's been people trying to hold us back for centuries. If we
Yeah,
organize
I know
ourselves,
that.
if we could even organize a DNA test and give it out to people, before you know, Washington D.C. will be under Igbo control. People will have Igbo forums saying, "This is what has been going on with us. This is what the help we need from Igbo land." It'll be international news. Like uh, we can't sneak under the radar. Like even if no
I
matter how
hope.
much we tried, I know this for sure. But it's at the end of the day, we have to see what we could do. Um, that's just a minor detail, but I know that they watch everything we do. Uh, I think the
Well,
latest, yeah.
yeah, were you born in Nigeria?
No, I was born in Los Angeles, USA, California.
Was- Well, are you like a Black American?
No, my family's from Mbaise, both my parents.
Okay,
But I know the
okay,
history of. I know a little bit of history of a lot of black people in the world. But my family's from Mbaise.
okay,
Yeah, my family's still in Mbaise. Like I have my uncle. He said he wanted to be on call, but I don't know. He said he wanted to discuss chicken farming. I don't think it's. We have a bigger agenda than just any one sector of or one business. So I didn't invite him. But my family's from. All my family is in Mbaise. Abba, uh, mostly in Emo. My uncle used to live in South Africa, but he's back home. So I know I don't have accent, but that's most of my family.
okay. I think we've like the evening. Well, it's already evening here. It has been a fruitful one, and I know, like you put it, we might not be able to develop things under the radar, but there are still things that we can develop that shouldn't
Yeah,
draw so much attention.
what what it's funny because United Nations when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was agitating for self referendum and self determination. Do you remember that Ohaneze received the United Nations delegation?
Yeah.
The United Nations tracks Igbo land like it's its own nation. But when we were agitating, they said they acted like they didn't know us. But see, this is the craziest. And if I don't know, I would ask, and I ask you this: if we try to fly under radar, do you know what do you say the Igbo land population is, or even the Igbo land people who stayed in Nigeria and live in different states? I think 13 states. What do you think the population is of Ndi Igbo?
Let's say roughly 50 million or 45 million.
If we say, if let's say 50 million, that's of the 50 countries in Africa. I think that's top six.
Wow.
So Nigeria is number one, but we have several nations within Nigeria that are top six. Even if you say Nigeria is a federation or federal republic, where the Igbo states or Igbo population is top six of all countries in Africa, if we are considered a province or country, we're never going to fly under the radar. They didn't track us. This is how they get number one. Number one, to be a number one nation, you have to traffic information. They share information. So they know who we are. They know we can't get out. They don't want us to get out of control. They have the traditional council rulers now. Everybody saw who they elected to represent Nigeria. I don't have to mention who was elected to represent the indigenous people of Nigeria. So they know who we are, but they don't want us to rise up. But there's no flying on the radar. We are the radar. So we're gonna keep moving forward, but it's not nothing to be scared about. If people start coming home, they're gonna tell their stories, and it'll make people stand taller. Or you could tell the truth and get away with it. But all right, I'll end the call, and I promise to send. I'm going to send you Eze Eche's uh, contact. Igbo land is, as we said, 7 out of 12 of our headquarters that we said should be connected to Igbo land directly. So I'm gonna send the contact, and I think going forward, in the world, Igbo land is gonna be more. Ala Igbo is gonna be the capital of Africa. I'm already, yeah. We see what's going on in northern Nigeria, being in the Sahel Alliance, saying what people have been saying as far as security. Nigeria has not been playing their role, so it's just the thing is going to get louder. And so okay, I'll end the call, and yeah, thank you, brother, for your time, and we'll just keep moving forward with more calls
Yeah,
and progress.
yeah, thank you too. I
Yeah,
really appreciate.
and I'll add you to a document, and I'm working on documents where everybody's contacts are listed. Even if you can't show up, just know that we're forwarding people to reach out and start connecting and building these projects. That we've been saying this for mostly 7 years, so now I think there's buy-in. There's no, if you think about it, even I wanted to mention this. There's no real, if you think about Nigeria and Pan Africanism, or Pan Africanism in general, can you name one organization that is famous for Pan Africanism, or that people are using to organize?
Mm, I really don't know much Pan African
there,
organization.
there is none. Anything that the what we like I was saying with the Amotekun, that was the Black Panthers, that was African Americans. We were talking to the biggest tribes, and most of them are in West Africa, except for Oromo, which is 40 million. Uh, then most of the tribes that are large are around 30 million people. But if you're talking about 40 million and over, most of them are in West Africa. That's why you always see the conflicts. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Fulani. Now Burkina Faso has their own ethnic group that people don't know about. The Mande people are in Mali and Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast. You have the Mande people and the Masi Dagbone ethnic groups, which trace to Borgu, where the brother his wife passed again. But Mali Empire and the Masi empires, that's another 90 million people. But now they're asserting themselves in the Sahel Alliance, and they're bringing the Hausa with them. So most of the ethnic groups that are over 40 million people, Hausa being the largest, maybe Bantu as a language group being largest. Most of them you can find in West Africa. So now it makes sense why we see the most change coming out of these three countries in West Africa. So it's ethnic groups that are organizing. It's not something called Pan Africanism. That's an organization. It's the ethnic groups. They adopt the ideology, and this things start moving in Africa. So Igbo people are one of those ethnic groups where we can start moving something, and it doesn't have to be an organization. It's just the ethnic groups and the borders that we operate in. We can do some things, and and if you notice the Pan Africanism organization, usually it's not an Igbo person out of Nigeria leading it. Usually it's somebody from Western Nigeria, and things have not been getting done. And so, so yeah. All right, brother. I won't end the call, and I'm gonna forward the contact to you from Eche, Eze Eche, or Eze
Okay.
Kimber. All right, thank you.
Yeah.